Hello. Cool. Okay, so welcome to Learn Svelte. This is going to be a set of tutorials where I walk through the Svelte front-end framework and demonstrate how it works, or I suppose also learn how it works myself because I'm relatively new to Svelte and use it in one project. Now this you see in front of you, this is the official Svelte tutorial. And if you just type in Learn Svelte, it'll be the first thing that comes up, so you can follow along if you like. And Svelte is basically a next generation front-end framework. It's made to be compiled instead of something like React, where they have to send the render engine and that gives you a certain amount of base level code that's required for an application. I think it's like 30 kilobytes or 50 kilobytes or something for React. But with Svelte, you write the Svelte files and it compiles down to vanilla JavaScript, HTML, CSS. And this means you can produce really small but very performant web pages that still have all the reactivity, still have everything that you want out of something like React. And speaking of reactivity, that is the first thing we're going to be looking at. So this is the Svelte IDE, I suppose, if you like. This is just like a code editor on their website. And if you type stuff in here, so say, for example, I don't know, I changed this to high. You can see click 0 high times, it changes down here. Or I could add like a P and type some text or something. Yeah, and you can undo stuff. So it's basically just like a standard text editor. So let's read through this. So at the heart of Svelte is a powerful system of reactivity for keeping the DOM in sync with the application's state, for example, in response to an event. To demonstrate it, we first need to wire up an event handler. And we'll learn more about that later. So we've got button. So it wants me to do this. On click equals increment. Event handler code goes here, and although this doesn't have an actual score, it doesn't have a timer or anything, which is boring in my opinion. I'm gonna do one. Won't do time taken to solve until I start actually taking a long time to solve these problems. I don't expect this to take very long. So if I've got here count equals 0, I imagine I can do count plus equals 1. Whoops, a daisy. And if I click, hey, I presume that's what they want me to do. So about instruments, this assignment with some code that it tells the DOM. Instruments inside the increment function. As I go along, I'm going to be adding in flashcards. And basically the way this works is, you can see here I've got assignments, declarations, statements, updating arrays and objects. This will be the reactivity tutorial. I'll then start another stream which will be props, logic events, etc. So I've actually linked these flashcards in the bottom if anyone's interested in reading through them. Come on. There we go. So, what? I'll leave that one to be added in later, which I do sometimes. Either way, I managed it. Svelte automatically updates the DOM when your component's state changes. Often some parts of a component's state need to be computed from other parts, such as a full name derived from a first name and a last name, and recomputed whenever they change. For these, we have reactive declarations. If a reactive statement consists entirely of an assignment to an undeclared variable, Svelte will inject a let declaration on your behalf. So I suppose this is the reactive declaration. This is valid JavaScript. Okay. It doesn't like that because double doesn't exist. So we can say doubled equals count times 2. Stop doing that. Interesting. Okay. So that's how you do reactive values. Although I suppose technically this is kind of reactive because this updates whenever this changes. So, I mean, if I said let doubled equals count times 2, would that not work? Ah. But if I said doubled equals count times 2, it would work. Okay. We're not limiting to declaring reactive values. We can also run arbitrary statements reactively. For example, we can log the value of count whenever it changes. Okay. I suppose I'll be able to see that here, will I? Fine. So they want me to do a multi-line statement. Christ. All right, there we go. If count is greater than 3, alert count is too high. Okay. So I take it then the console logs would have appeared over there as well. Okay. Nice. Because Svelte reactivity is triggered by assignments, using array methods like push and splice won't automatically cause updates. Right. For example, clicking add a number button doesn't currently do anything. Even though to be redundant, there's a more idiomatic solution. Okay. So assignment is what triggers the reactivity, which means Svelte is looking for you to reassign something like numbers. And if you reassign it, then it will trigger reactivity and everything will be changed. So rather than do this, it wants me to do numbers equals ... or is it ... No, it's ... numbers dot length plus 1. That's cool. So I think, yeah, so this is basically an operator in a few languages and JavaScript that says spread this array. So just take this 1, 2, 3, 4 and do 1, 2, 3, 4 and add it in here. Okay. So I guess that is all of basic reactivity. Next up is props. See you in the next one.